Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Talkin Solutions Podcast. And in this episode, I am with the founder of Contapp, Mr. Giuseppe Milazzo. And Giuseppe, thank you so much for coming on the show and having a conversation with me today.
Thanks a lot, Will. Thanks for having me on as a guest. And looking forward to having a conversation and being part of the podcast.
Love it. And Giuseppe, I always like to do this. I always like to let the founders or my guests describe exactly what their solution is and why it is beneficial for society and things of that nature as well. So if you could let us know and share a little bit about Contapp and what it does and why this solution is so great.
Yeah, sure. So Contapp is a bootstrap tech startup of mine. And in a nutshell, it's the smarter, convenient, and more sustainable way of managing, sharing, and using business cards. So rather than, loads of printed business cards in your drawer, what Contapp does is brings in the uses of a business card. So it works as a business card, a business card scanner, and a business card manager, all in one simple to use mobile app. In terms of costs, sustainability, and convenience, it completely revolutionizes the way that we know business cards today. So.
Love it. I love it. And the networking aspect and the business cards and things of that nature is something that's been around ever since probably the birth of capitalism, if you will, right? I mean, probably been around since a very long time, and it hasn't really undergone much of a change as well. So why now, and why do you think that there needs to be such a revolution, if you will, with the way that we present ourselves and our business contact and who we are and who we represent?
Well, I think if you look at a lot of things in business from, 30 years ago, everything was paper-based. So, signing documents, collaborations, writing articles, etc. Everything has gone from print to digital. The only thing that hasn't really, like you mentioned, changed since when business cards first came about, which was in like the 1400s. Business cards haven't changed since then. So I think if you want to keep up with technology and streamlined workflows, business cards are the next thing to go digital. And I think what's available at the moment doesn't actually work as a solution compared to what we've built at Contapp. So that's kind of the reason why Contapp started, really.
1400s. Okay, so I was well off. Mark. Long time they've been around for, so that's good to know on that front going forward there. And just a big thing that, you really emphasize with what you guys are doing over at Contapp as well is, making networking and transitioning it into a digital age, making it more sustainable and things of that nature as well. So to give us a little bit of background about the wastefulness of traditional maybe business card, and then how you're kind of changing that with digital sustainability and things of that nature and bringing it all to this mobile app platform instead of having, wasteful cards just kind of laying around.
Yeah. So like I mentioned earlier, like yourself, like myself, and like a lot of people listening to this, you've probably got loads of business cards in your drawer that, you haven't looked at since, the first day you received them, which could be years ago. So, that's vital information that you've got just sitting there in a drawer, which, could be a client of yours, could be a customer, could be, a supplier of yours somewhere down the line. So, me personally, I think that having that data on hand and being able to use that data is critical compared to, just leaving it in a drawer and just, collecting dust, really. So, the solution behind it was to make managing these business cards a lot easier for the end user. So how I used to do it in my marketing role was go to an event, collect loads of business cards, go back to the office, leave them in my drawer. Or sometimes, if you had a good conversation, you'd manually upload that into a CRM. So you'd have to look at each business card, type the email, look again, their name, book again, company name, phone number, email address. And it's just a very long process which could be automated, which again is something that we considered when we built the platform. It's just about receiving that data from print and using it and saving it digitally without having to do any manual labor, as it were.
Exactly. Just kind of streamline that process and add to that convenience. And of course, we know in today's economy, in today's world, convenience is everything, right? I mean,
100%.
You don't even have to leave your home if you don't want to these days. You know, you just Amazon deliver your groceries, a company deliver workout equipment or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I think that that's a really important part and aspect of it on that front. So let's learn a little bit about how exactly it works, right? Because I'm sure some people, particularly people who aren't really that familiar with kind of technology apps and things of that nature as well, are probably wondering, well, how in the hell can I create a business card and then this portfolio? How does that work? Is it just on my phone? So let's kind of start from the beginning. So what does it look like when you go to the App Store, whether it's, Apple, Google Play, whatever, and then you download it, and then would take us through the kind of that process of creating a profile and all that type of stuff, and then what you can do with it, how you upload your business contact info and things of that nature.
Yeah, sure. So the first thing you need to do is go to either your iOS App Store or the Google Play Store. The app is available to download for free on both. Once you download Contapp, you go into the app, you create your profile in Contapp, either through the app itself or through Apple ID, Google ID, LinkedIn, or Facebook. And then you get a pop-up saying, would you like to activate biometric ID to get into the app? So what that basically means for people that don't know is, in order to get into the app, you can use your fingerprint or Face ID as an option. This is something that competitors don't do at the moment. And I think security is one of the main things we focus on when building the app. Because obviously, if you've got everyone's business cards here, you don't want that information getting in the hands of the wrong people. So, once you've created your profile, you're then faced with the homepage. So people that don't know what the homepage looks like, that is literally it. So you've got 5 touch points here, which is your business card, your library, share your card, and this is actually going to be changing in the next 2 weeks. So I'm not sure, by the time this podcast comes out, our new software update might be released. And I'll give your listeners a bit of an exclusive here, but that's going to be an integrations page. So integrations will be in the app, hopefully by the time this airs, which is really exciting for us. But yeah, getting back to the app. So your business card will look like that. So in order to save a business card or share a business card, obviously the first thing you need to do is to make your business card. So here you can see I've got name, job, company name, email, website, social media links, everything that you need on there. In terms of your library, so here's your scanning feature. So if you click that, you scan a business card, you then find all your business cards in the app. So you basically find all of these into these. So you click on one of them, for example, and then you've got all their business card details there. So again, in terms of management, would you rather, if I said, Will, can you find all the marketing managers in this pile for me, please, that are in the real estate industry? And if I gave you, I don't know, we'll say like 200 business cards, for example, how long do you think that would probably take you to find all of those marketing managers in that specific industry?
A lot longer than I'd want to spend.
Yeah, exactly that. Whereas with our solution, you've got search. So search by a keyword. or the filter option here. So filter by industry, company name, apply a filter, and then those people would just show up in your search list. The last really key aspect of the app is the nearby feature. So if you want to share business cards with people, either face-to-face or in a virtual environment, you just swipe up to send, and then that person would swipe down to receive. So yeah, it's a very easy way of being able to network with people face-to-face or in a virtual environment on, say, LinkedIn, Zoom, email, WhatsApp. So yeah, we've just made the process a lot easier than what other people try to do and what printed business cards can't do at all, because it's impossible to share a business card with you now. You being in Mexico and me being in UK, there's no way of me sharing my business card with you unless I manually type it out, which no one wants to do, because you've sent it in a message to me, but how do I actually save that properly in my phone or on desktop? It's virtually impossible. So yeah, that's just a quick run through.
Yeah. No, it's a descriptive run through. And for those that are just listening to the audio, I encourage you to go check out the YouTube video that we have as well, because you can kind of see that run through that was being shown on the phone a little bit there. But it essentially, you can kind of just store all those cards, and it kind of gives you that wallet type of look with the dollars, if you will, with one card coming up on another on a visual screen. So it looks really, really good on that front as well. And Giuseppe, you mentioned, new integrations kind of coming, and, you're talking about like making it easy to just kind of share networking. And, obviously, you look at this and some people go, oh, business card management. Well, to me, it looks like you're doing a lot more than just business cards. To me, this looks like this is a little bit more of a way to kind of change the way in which we network in a much more sustainable fashion as well. Is that the case too?
Yeah, 100%. So when we first started Contapp, it was just going to be just a business card. So I have the app, and that's my business card, and that's it. But as we've grown and got more users, they've said, it'd be great if we could save our printed cards into the app as well. So we included the scanning feature and the library feature. So I think as we've grown and users have used the app more in the network environment, we've kind of changed from just a business card to now being a tool for networking, whether it's virtual or face-to-face. So yeah, I definitely think it's one of the necessities now to have Contapp in your toolbox if you're doing a lot of networking for your business or your own business.
Absolutely. And it's a way to kind of organize it on your phone a little bit, right? Like obviously you can add contacts and things of that nature as well to your phone, but then it gets diluted with your personal contacts.
Yeah.
Unless you have a work phone, I guess that's a solution. But if you just have one phone, like a lot of smaller business owners do, or things of that nature, it's a nice way to kind of compartmentalize it. But hey, great, I got this business card, I'm going to scan it. Now you're my contact and you're specifically in Contapp, and that's where I know I can go for all things kind of networking and business related purposes. So I think that's a really, really neat solution, and something that I'm not really seeing from kind of other competitors in the space in terms of business card management and making it kind of sustainable as well. So it's pretty cool. So I really want to talk about digital sustainability and kind of the importance of that and that movement. But before we get to that point a little bit, tell us just a little bit of a brief rundown of when you kind of started Contapp and how quick the process has kind of been, and what you've been kind of finding as a startup founder, if you will, on your own, going at it, and, obviously getting help from teams and things of that nature. But tell me a little bit about your experience on that front and the age of Contapp, if you will.
Yeah, so Contapp launched in the app stores February or March 2020. So it was literally at the start of COVID, which no one obviously knew that COVID was going to be such a big thing. So we launched in the app stores back then, and then obviously 2 weeks later COVID happened. So we didn't really experience Contapp in this natural environment, because obviously Contapp was meant to be for the face-to-face networking community. But since then we've had to kind of pivot towards virtual events, video calls, as well as face-to-face events. So it's been a bit of a up and down journey so far, especially doing it bootstrapped as well. So we've had no outside investment, no money spent on marketing, and it's just myself at the company as well. So I do all the marketing, content creation, website, app designs, networking, podcasts like this, PR. So I have to wear a lot of hats. Some of the things I've never done in my life before, like finances and stuff like that. I've never done that at all in my previous jobs, because my background was marketing. So in terms of marketing, I kind of had everything figured out: branding, content creation. That's fine. But in terms of actually growing it to, in terms of finance and things that I've never done before, it's been a bit of a hard lesson, really, but something I definitely wouldn't change. The only thing that we've actually outsourced is the coding. So, I designed the app in Photoshop, how I want it to look like exactly, send it to them, and then they make it into a fully functioning application. And that's kind of how Contapp started. Development was about 8 months, with market research included as well. And premium plans started January this year. So up until January, we weren't generating any money at all. But obviously our users were growing, which is really good. So
Yeah, you got to get the users and the interest in the app, right? I mean, that's definitely something going on. But man, all right. So you got a lot of hats being worn. You're doing a lot of different things, like a true founder, really going at it and learning kind of as you go and whatnot as well. I imagine you've learned a lot of things kind of, about yourself as well, and kind of like, okay, I'm pretty good at this. I'm not so great at this. This is what I want to do. This is the first thing I'm going to hire for when I need 100%. To as well. So sure, it's been a great journey in that regard, huh?
Yeah, it has. Like I said, it's when you're thrown in the deep end, you kind of have to keep moving, otherwise you drown. Especially in the tech industry, like you obviously know yourself from our last conversation. So yes, I think if I have a look at all the tech businesses that I see on LinkedIn, everyone's got teams around them, which is probably the only thing that I lack, which is kind of not a weakness, but something I wish that, if I went back 2 years and told myself something to really look into, I think that would be one of the things, to kind of build a team with the same vision, the same, where you want to see the startups go, and do it that way. But that comes with pros and cons. So I've loved it so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, pros, cons, we could really get into that and whatnot and things going forward, but certainly some perks, certainly some negatives going forward. Do you have some plans to kind of start hiring out or expanding team or kind of taking the load off your back a little bit, if you will, in the near future, or what are your thoughts on that?
Everyone that I speak to always says to look into funding, but I'm not really sure I need funding. I need more of a co-founder. So a technical co-founder would be something that I'd definitely be interested in looking into. Someone to have that technical knowledge. I've got the marketing knowledge, the graphics, the content side of things, but I need someone to turn around and say, what do you think if we change this on the app, or what work is involved if we move this button here. So the technical side of things is something I probably lack. So I think having a technical co-founder is something that would really benefit me, the company, and hopefully the co-founder as well. So
yeah, absolutely right. I mean, that's a good pairing. If you get a kind of a technical guy, you get a marketing guy or gal, whomever it might be, and then you pair them together, and usually you can get yourself kind of a nice tandem. So you got a person on the tech side, and then a person on the marketing side, and then you expand from there and stuff like that, and you can get the communication going on that front as well. So I want to ask you too, as somebody who's focused in on this industry and on what I think is really kind of changing drastically, especially because of the pandemic, like you alluded to as well. How do you foresee networking kind of transitioning into this digital age? Obviously, you're a big proponent of, hey, let's use these apps and really kind of streamline some of these communications. But you mentioned it was designed for face-to-face. Well, okay, now because of the pandemic, maybe some of those things are going to be more virtual. Some people say business travel is going to be back down. What is your kind of thoughts based off the research that you've been doing of how you kind of see networking progressing within the next, or changing within the next, 10 years or so going forward?
I think it's going to be very similar to how businesses are approaching hybrid working. So instead of, all the businesses saying, right, everyone has to work in the office now 5 days a week, there's a lot of flexibility now with, people working from home, but also in the office. And I think that's going to be the same with networking. I think during COVID, everyone was sick and tired of, going to Zoom meetings, 6-7 Zoom meetings a day, and going to Zoom conferences and exhibitions, and I don't think they're the same when you're as face to face. So I think face to face networking is definitely going to be coming back, but I don't think it's going to be just face to face. It's going to be a bit of face to face, but the odd time we'll have virtual networking as well, because like you mentioned, the cost involved of face-to-face networking is a lot for a business, especially if you have to include travel, time out of the office, food, all of that kind of stuff. So I think there's definitely going to be a mix of both. Because the beauty of virtual networking is that you can have integrations, something that we're working on at the moment. So being able to integrate with your networking event with, Contapp, for example. So everyone on Contapp will be able to share their business cards at the virtual networking event. Or let's say you met someone on a virtual networking event, that information could then feed into your CRM. Stuff like that, just as an example. Whereas face-to-face networking, it is literally you come to the event, we talk, and that's it. So yeah, in my personal opinion, I think it's going to be a mix of both, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely think that's where we're trending. As human beings, it's just face-to-face is always going to trump anything, right? Like being in person, sharing that connection, whether it's, networking from a business perspective, personal connection, it's always going to be, face-to-face there. So I think some of those integrations sound pretty intriguing. Can you share a little bit about what you guys are working on, or is that under wraps?
No, well, I was actually doing a bit of work today about on the integration side of things. I've tested everything and it's all good. So in this week or next week, I'll have a rough date in mind when to launch it. But the new app update, which is exclusive for you guys, is going to be called Octopus 4.0, which will include integrations. So integrations in the app with CRMs, Google Maps, and a lot more will be following that. So, for example, Zoom. So users will be able to, for example, organize a Zoom meeting through Contapp, which will then sync into your calendar. Or another example for an integration that we've got live is you scan a business card, you authenticate your CRM into Contapp, you save that card, and then that data can save into your CRM platform in real time. So like the example I gave at the start, when you go to a networking event, you collect all the business cards, you wait till the next day, you get back to the office and manually type it all out. That will save 20 hours of your day, and that data will transfer into the CRM in real time instead. So that's a very exciting thing that users have been asking for over a year now. So really happy to get that involved. GDPR as well. We've been working a lot on the security aspect of the app, which we are now GDPR compliant, which is really good for our users. We've got cloud technology in the app for all users as well, so for free and premium users. So if you lose your phone or you uninstall the app, you log back in and all of your business cards will appear back in your library as normal. And then there's just minor bugs and UI changes that we came across as well. So yeah, very excited for this.
Love it. The constant iteration, right, of the application game, the designing, okay, what's working, where are our users getting stuck at through the flow, and making those adaptions and taking their feedback and applying those integrations. So that's fantastic. Really some exciting stuff for Octopus 4.0. That's what it's called, you believe?
That's right.
Yeah. So we got that coming forward.
And I think a lot of this has come from user feedback as well. So all of our users that have contributed to sharing feedback, positive and constructive criticism, we've put into this app update. So without them, we wouldn't have this update coming up. So massive thank you to all the users that we've got for sharing their feedback, and which has now allowed us to bring something to the app that they've wanted. So users play a massive part in our development.
Love it. Yep. You always have to make sure that you're appealing to them, right? Appeasing them, making 100%. Them happy, making it grow. And that's a really important part. So I really want to ask you about digital sustainability, because that's obviously a really good impact that you're having, on society and whatnot, is kind of moving this over. And I see you post about that from time to time as well on LinkedIn and things of that nature as well. So tell me a little bit about why digital sustainability, and then obviously making the networking more sustainable, if you will, than before. Because, with this, we are always going to have the face-to-face, but, with less business travel and more interaction online, and having this type of tool and integration to kind of set up, you're going to be helping, the climate in terms of, mitigating the amount of air travel and things of that nature. So tell me a little bit about, why you're just kind of passionate about digital sustainability, and the big reason you're kind of bringing that into the networking space. Yeah.
So, going back to my time in marketing, like I said, I was going to a lot of events, networking events. And I don't know if it's the same in America, but, you go there, you come back with goodie bags of just full of business cards, leaflets, brochures, and 95% of it gets thrown away because, you're just forced to bring it home with you. So I think in terms of something that I can do personally, with my experience with, hating business cards, because I used to get inundated with loads of business cards like this, and I hated the mess. So, one area where I wanted to reduce paper waste was business cards. 10 billion are printed every year, and 88% are thrown away within the first week of being printed, which, that's a ridiculous amount of paper which is being thrown away for no reason at all. So that was something where I thought, if I can nail this app and it works well, it saves people time, saves people money, increases productivity, it increases better networking, and it reduces paper waste, then, I've kind of done my bit, and, it's a no-brainer really. For someone that networks, it is a no-brainer, especially from a business owner's point of view. Businesses that adopt Contapp into the printed business cards are making an eco-conscious effort to, reduce paper waste and save the planet. So, that was kind of the reason behind making a very small change in business, which has a massive impact on the planet. And I think this solution completely boils down what was been available for the last 10 years plus. So, and I think that reflects well onto our partners as well. So we've got some networking partners that we work with. So one example of how that works is a networking partner will create an event and it will be powered by Contapp. So what that means is attendees to the event don't have to bring any business cards with them at all. They just download Contapp, create their business card on the app, and everyone at that event will share their business cards via Contapp using proximity technology. So contactlessly sharing business cards, and that data saving directly into your app seamlessly. So from from an event organizer point of view, the event is now paperless, sustainable networking, and everyone at the event will get premium for free as well. So I think everyone benefits. So from the event organizers to the attendees and to Contapp ourselves, because we've got more people using the app, which we've had a 100% retention rate so far from people that have tried premium for a week to then becoming active premium users.
That's wonderful. That's a great stat so far. So you better keep that one rolling. A lot of pressure. No, but I think that's fantastic, and it's something that I don't think a lot of people are really thinking about when it comes to sustainability of networking and things of that nature as well, right? Like you go to those big events, and they're a lot of fun, but yeah, they're very wasteful when it comes to the material being organized. So if you can make that paperless and come through and say use your solution like Contapp and say, hey, everything's going to be available here. You want to create a meeting after this event, a week from now? Well, hey, we got this integration with Zoom and the Google Calendar, and then you save your contact info, and boom, we got that organized and set versus having to, exchange a business card or create a pamphlet and things of that nature, which, oh man, it is the same in the States. I know, like you go to these events and you come home and man, I didn't even really want to network with that person, but I can't say no to just taking his card, so
that's what I mean. I'd say all of these business cards, I'd say about 98% of them, I got their business cards just to be polite. I had that's it. Yeah, I had no interest in, one at random. This is an insurance company. I can't remember where I got this business card or what we spoke about, but I am not in the market for insurance for whatever this is, building insurance. That's just, it's probably my fault because, at the same time, you don't want to seem rude and say, actually, no, I don't want your business card. So, it's a hard one, really. But, yeah, I'm sure if you've done some market research and done a poll and said, out of all the business cards you've received, which ones did you actually want to receive and keep compared to the ones that you got just to be polite? I'm pretty sure that number would be pretty low.
Pretty high. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty high in terms of the amount that they've just taken to take them, right?
Exactly,
just to not be rude. So yeah, if you can kind of revolutionize this and make this into a more sustainable, but not only just sustainable, but a more efficient, convenient networking solution, I think it's going to be something that kind of really takes off and moves forward a little bit. So curious to see kind of how you get your users on that front and what type of feedback you continue to get there and some things of that nature as well, because I definitely think going forward, just sustainable and conscious solutions are going to continue to come to the forefront of people's minds and consumers' minds and business owners' minds. And, if you can come up with this solution and say, hey, look, we're putting together an event with, Contapp and it's going to be paperless, that's it's going to really appeal to people as well. So I think I love that digital sustainability kind of route you're taking.
I think when businesses or business owners think, processes to be more sustainable, a lot of people probably think, okay, we'll be more sustainable, but that means our costs are going to be higher because in order to be sustainable, you have to pay more money for these processes. For example, sustainable beauty products, they might be more sustainable, but you're paying £2-3 more than what, a normal shampoo would be, for example. So I think people have got this thing in their head where because it's sustainable, it costs a lot more money. But in our situation, Contapp actually reduces all your paper waste, but our premium plans start from just £1.33 per month. When you put that against printed business cards, which is around £250 per year per employee. So if you've got 10 employees, for example, having business cards, that's £2,500 that you're spending just on business cards alone, which 88% of them, remember, are going to be thrown away within the first week. So, in terms of cost, sustainability and convenience, this solution is, it just has to be, I think people have to try it to then understand the benefits. because I understand that it is sometimes too good to be true, but in this situation, it's not. It is true.
It's 100% true, as evidenced by the retention rate for the premium plans, right? There it is. As long as that's 100%, it is 100% true. So you got to love it on that front there. And you make a great point, too, about being able to reduce costs, reduce waste. I mean, it's just kind of a win-win as we transform and move towards a more sustainable economy with everything that we're doing. And that goes into networking. And even though people may not really associate directly with, oh, yeah, networking is not sustainable. But, you know, when you throw that all together and you're talking about business travel, you're talking about, taking transportation, you're talking about moving parts like that whole ecosystem and the paper that you're providing at these events, that whole ecosystem really does, kind of add up over time. And so to revolutionize not business cards, but networking in general, like you're hoping to do with Contapp, I think is a really great and digitally sustainable way to move forward. I guess going forward on that front, Giuseppe, do you got anything else that you would like to add about your product or about anything in general? I know you got a potential offer to announce with the new feature updates and things of that nature, but anything else that you would like to add here?
Yes. So I mentioned the upcoming software update coming soon, which is really exciting. But another exclusive for your listeners is that I'd like to invite all of your listeners to message me personally on LinkedIn or contact us on our website and get a month of premium for free, so completely for free, just so that you can understand the benefits, how to use the app, how Contapp really compares to how you're currently doing things. So yeah, if any listeners would like to try Contapp premium access for free, just message me on LinkedIn, Giuseppe Milazzo, or contact us on our website, which is contapp.uk, which is CONTAPP.UK. And I'll be more than happy to provide that for a month, even 2 months if you need it. I'm a big believer in, you need people to try the product to really understand the benefits as they see it. Apart from that, I really hope some of your listeners become part of our community and our users, and hopefully we can completely revolutionize the way that we manage, use, and share business cards from this point onwards.
Love it going forward. I think what you're doing is fantastic and a really nice niche to kind of revolutionize the networking game a little bit on that front in a more sustainable way. So I think that's fantastic. You heard him. If you want to try it out for free for a month or even maybe 2, then you can go over to the Contapp website, which is, as he mentioned, contapp.uk, contapp.uk. And then, of course, hit him up on LinkedIn as well, and we'll make it easy for you. We'll have those links available within the show notes, and then also as well within our Instagram page, and then of course coming soon, all that information available on the website as well. So you won't have any issue finding those links. So certainly sign up, give it a try, and if you're an employee, bring it to your boss and say, hey, look, this could be a pretty good way to expand here and be a lot easier than all these paper cards, and it'll save you money. There you go. That's the pitch.
And I think, if you said to your boss, I can save you £2,000 a year. I think he deserves to buy you lunch.
Oh yeah, a little bit more than that. Maybe part of that's a raise. I don't know. Little bonus, maybe. Holiday bonus, £2,000. Come on now. I don't even know what that is in dollars. Close to $3,000, I think. Yeah. So, pretty good. So, awesome. Hey, Giuseppe, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I really appreciated having you on, and I look forward to following your success and monitoring to see how you're doing from across the pond here.
Thanks, Will, and keep doing what you're doing, because the podcast is wicked, and I'm going to carry on listening. And thanks again for giving me the platform to share my journey. Appreciate it. Absolutely. Love what you're doing and making networking more sustainable and things of that nature as well. That is the founder of Contapp, Giuseppe Milazzo, joining us here
on the Talkin Solutions podcast based over in the UK. And so, again, a big thanks to Giuseppe for coming on the show. And that's going to wrap up this edition of the Talkin Solutions podcast. As mentioned before, all those links will be available if you're interested in getting his solution for networking, presenting it to your boss, whatever that might be. We'll make that easy for you as well. So thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the episode, I would really appreciate a review on that front. Tell a friend about the show. Always trying to promote some good vibes and positivity for some of these great founders out there that are trying to make a difference in the world today. So hope everybody enjoyed the episode and have a great rest of your week. Until next time. Thanks for listening to the Talkin Solutions with the Chesh podcast. Tune in every Wednesday for a new episode, and you can find out more about our featured guests and their solutions on our Talkin Solutions podcast Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube channels, as we focus on highlighting individuals providing solutions to social problems and bringing optimism to the world.